إنما هو ما حواه الصدر. أما الكتب فهذه للمراجعة. إذا لم تكن حافظا واعيا فجمعك للكتب لا ينفع. نعم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This video, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will be a motivation for those wanting to seek beneficial knowledge of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and some mistakes that we see individuals falling into. And I'm not any person that should point out people's mistakes, rather I have my own mistakes and many of them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He covers our faults and that He gives us ikhlas. However, if this could be a means of benefiting the people, then inshallah that is then we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make that beneficial. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ عُلَمَاء. Indeed, the only people that fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the scholars. وَقَالَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مَنْ يُرِيدِ اللَّهِ بِهِ خَيْرًا يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants good for, He gives them understanding, fiqh in the deen. So, alhamdulillah, these nusus, these texts, they are ma'ruf, they are known. So, this is the reason, walillah alhamd, we hear many brothers and many sisters of all different races and all different ethnicities and of all ages wanting to go seek beneficial knowledge. ولا شك and no doubt that this is from the أعظم الأمور. This is from the greatest things that a person can do, is to seek beneficial knowledge with a sincere intention. However, يوجد خطأ وقع فيه كثير من الناس. There is a huge problem, a huge mistake that many of the people they fall into. You hear from their mouths, we want to go seek beneficial knowledge in Medina, or in this school, or in Mecca, and in Egypt, and this markaz, and that Dixie, and that madrasa, and this country, and that camp. But we're not going to do anything now. نصبر حتى نصل. We're going to wait until we get there. This we're not. Ayo ikhwa. There's a famous عبارة from the Salaf. العلم لا يعطيك بعضه حتى تعطي كلك. إيش؟ العلم, knowledge, لا يعطي, does not give you بعضه, even a portion of it, حتى تعطي كلك, until you give all of yourself. With the condition, after you give all of yourself to ilm, all of your time, all of your energy, all of your money, then ربما, perhaps you will gain بعض العلم, a portion, a very small portion of knowledge. So we say all this to say what? ابدأ الآن. ابدأ الآن. You must start seeking beneficial knowledge now, wherever you are. We hear brothers say, well, I want to wait till I go to University of Medina. Let me explain something. Or we want to wait until we go to Egypt. Let me explain something to you. If you are lazy here, you will be more lazy there. If you only study a little bit here, you will study less even there. إِلَّا رَحِمَهُ اللَّهُ. Perhaps you go over there and you get inspired and things like this, but that inspiration usually dies down after the first couple of weeks. We see brothers, they don't do anything. Then they go overseas and then for a month they're min al-mujtahideen. They're going so hard, they're going to 10 classes a day, they're studying this, and then they fall off. Because the aslan, it wasn't really in them. They didn't really love knowledge to that extent. They had an iman booster. They went overseas, first couple of weeks, done every single dars. I personally know individuals, when we were in Egypt, they were going to every dars. They were studying 20, how long did that last? How long did that last? They burnt themselves out because it wasn't really in them. What is the key? The key is you must start here. Okay? And the reason I said, if you're lazy here, you're going to be more lazy there, is because here everything you need is at your fingertips. Khalas, you need internet. You don't even have, I was about to say you go to the store. The internet it's unlimited. I never heard of unlimited internet at any country I've been to. So many times we would be using the phone and the internet would cut off. And you have to go buy internet. Actually buy internet. The electricity, you're in America, or you're in Canada, or you're in Britain, or wherever you're watching this video, and you have internet 24/7. You have electricity 24/7. You have running water 24/7. As soon as you get sick, you go to the pharmacy, you go to the corner store, you go in your cabinet. If it's cold, you turn on your heat. If it's hot, you turn on air conditioning. If you're tired, you get in your car and you drive somewhere. You get hungry, you go to the restaurant. You get lonely, you go see your family. This is not the reality of a talib al-ilm when you're overseas. You will not have electricity 24/7. If you don't seek knowledge here, and you have your brand new MacBook Pro, 15-inch with the touch bar. You have electricity 24/7. You have a fridge full of food, and you don't seek any knowledge. What are you going to do when you're overseas and you have no food in the refrigerator? Rather, you don't even have a refrigerator. Wallahi, wa Rabbul Kaaba. When we went in Egypt, me and my amazing roommate that I had, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He preserves him, wallahi, we did not have a refrigerator. Wallahi, we did not have a refrigerator. We would have buckets of water that we would drink out of like this, room temperature. Nothing refreshing. Alhamdulillah, there were stores, but I'm just saying, we did not have electricity 24/7. We did not have water 24/7. It would be amazing if we could go to the bathroom and actually make wudu in the house before going to the masjid. Rather, we would have to fill up buckets when the water was working, fill it up so we would have water to use, brush our teeth. If you can't seek knowledge, and you can take a shower at any time of the day, how are you going to seek knowledge and perhaps you haven't taken a shower in 2 days? You haven't had electricity in 10 hours. You didn't seek knowledge when you had all of these amenities to you, and now out of nowhere you think you're going to seek knowledge when you have nothing. You have no money. You have no car. You're waiting on the bus. The weather is 110 degrees. You have no electricity. You have no fan. You have no air conditioning. In the wintertime, you have no heat. You have a little space heater, freezing. SubhanAllah, we used to be in Egypt sweating. Nighttime, windows open, fans blasting, sweating. You're in your nice house, you have air conditioning, you have a fridge full of food. How are you going to, and you don't seek knowledge? But you're going to seek knowledge there? You will be, if you're lazy here, you will be lazy there. If you're lazy here, you will be even more lazy there. You're not just going to happen to just show up overseas, University of Medina. You go from studying, if you go to actual barnamij like a university, you go from studying nothing to immediately jumping into a college level. I want you to understand this. These universities, they are colleges. They're universities. Think of a university here in America. Imagine you just go register. You never studied science, math, chemistry, biology, English. And you just, I want to go study now. You don't even have a passion for it. You don't have a passion for history. You don't have a passion for mathematics. But you're going to go sit in a university when that's all it's about. You're going to have hours of homework. You're going to have hours of, things you have to memorize. You have to sit into it 5 days a week. And then outside of that, you have homework. And then outside of the homework, you have other places you want to go to. You didn't do anything in America. You're going to go from being, on a scale of 1 to 10, a 1, and then go to University of Medina and just be a 10 automatically? That's not how life works. That's not how life works. It's like saying, I'm never, ever, ever going to work out, but then I'm going to go apply to this workout competition, this weightlifting competition. You have never lifted any weights. Or if you do, you're lifting the most basic 1-pound weights. And you think you're going to go enter yourself into a powerlifting competition? This is what this is. This is power ilm. This is ilm. This is, 10, 12, 15 hours of knowledge a day. More knowledge in one day than some of us did in months and weeks and maybe in our lifetime. Salawat afiyah. And I'm not, of course, seeking beneficial knowledge is the greatest thing that a person can do. So we're not trying to despair. We're just saying you have to start here. A person doesn't know anything of the Arabic language. He knows nothing of the nusus. No, he memorized no mutun. He knows nothing of the Quran. He knows nothing of adab in regards to sitting in durus. He doesn't even know, he's not even a full-time Muslim aslan. He goes to the masjid here and there, maybe once every couple of weeks, or maybe a couple times a week. If you're going to be a talib al-ilm, it is not based on your location. It is not based on your clothes. It is based on everything. If you are a talib al-ilm, that follows you everywhere. Every aspect of your life, from the way you eat, to the way you dress, to going to the restroom, to going to work, to going, of course, to the masajid, to walk into your car, the way everything is engrossed in being a talib al-ilm. There's no, I'm going to stop being a talib al-ilm in 3 months. I'm going to stop being a student of knowledge when I get accepted. If you are a real talib ilm, you will begin right now, or you would have begun a long time ago. You're not going to be, oh, I got the acceptance letter of University of Medina, and now I automatically transform into a student of knowledge. I automatically transform into being a person that loves knowledge. And that, you have to understand, seeking knowledge, it is a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more strength your hifz gets, the more strong your memory gets. You have memorized nothing, but you're going to go to Qur'at al-Hadith, where they had to memorize books, and you're going to be able to do that? You're going to be very mistaken. You're going to be very mistaken. You don't know anything of the Arabic language. And yes, of course, you go to the Arabic programs, but how are you going to get down the street? How are you going to walk to the classroom? How are you going to buy something from the store and you know absolutely nothing of the Arabic language? You must start now. You must start now. As soon as you get hungry, you go to McDonald's, you go to Burger King, you go to the restaurant. You hop in your car, you turn on the air conditioning, fresh clothes, laundry mat, wash and dry, maybe in your house. Everything you need at the touch of your fingertips. And you don't seek knowledge. And you're going to go to a place where you're not going to have electricity perhaps every day. And you think you're going to seek knowledge? Wallahi. We were in Egypt, walillah alhamd. And we were seeking knowledge without electricity. We would be sitting in the apartment and we'd be listening to durus on our phone. We'd be reading books with a flashlight on our phone with no electricity. We would go to the markaz, no electricity. They would say, come back when the sun is up. Sometimes we would have classes directly at the fajr. We'd go to the markaz, the lights doesn't work, come back when the lights work. Come back when the sun is up. Freezing. Sometimes in Egypt, absolutely freezing. Bundled up. You can see your breath, and you're in a 3-hour Arabic class, shaking. On the flip side, you'd be in an Arabic class sweating. I remember one particular time we were taking an imtihan, we were taking a test. I had to redo the test because I was sweating so much that my paper was destroyed. It was starting to, imagine a paper and you pour water on it, it becomes, faded away and rips open. I had to do a new test. You're not seeking knowledge of the Arabic language, and you're in your house on your nice computer, laying on your couch, but somehow you're going to go to a place where the weather is going to be 120 degrees. And sometimes it's freezing. You're going to be sick. The medicine they give you, la ya'mal, it doesn't even do anything for you. What are you going to do? I'm not coming at people. Rather, I'm encouraging you. These are the realities of the situation. You're going to be lonely. You're going to want to call your family. You're going to want to be with friends. But knowledge is not given to a person except that he gives him his all to knowledge. And once you do that, perhaps you'll get ba'dahu, perhaps you'll get a portion. We don't want this video to really be too long. However, we do wish to encourage the people. Talib al-ilm, it is a lifestyle. It is not something you turn on and off. It's not, I'm going to be a talib al-ilm when I go to the masjid. But as soon as I leave the masjid, I'm back to being, I'm going to be Hassan in the masjid. But when I leave, I'm back to being Patrick. I'm going to be pious when I walk into the masjid. But as soon as I leave the masjid, I take the kufi off, I take the thobe off, I'm talking to, that's not how it is. If you're a talib al-ilm, as they said, how long will you seek knowledge? Hatta al-maut, he said, until I die. Al-ilm, من المهدي إلى مقبرة. It is from the cradle to the grave. There is not times. You don't clock in and out of being a talib al-ilm. You go to work, I'm here for 6 hours, I'm here for 8 hours, I'm here for 4 hours. And then as soon as you clock out of that, khalas, I don't want to hear anything about my job. Don't call my phone. I'm not doing any extra hours. This is not the talib al-ilm. As a talib al-ilm, I'm not going to say you're on call. Rather, you are 24/7. As soon as you wake up, it is about knowledge. When you're going to sleep, you're sleeping thinking about knowledge. When you're walking to the restroom, you're thinking still about knowledge. When you're actually working, you have to have a job sometimes. You're thinking about knowledge. You're reviewing in your head. You're making dhikr. You're making istighfar. You're making muraja'a. Talib al-ilm is mustamirra. It does not end. If you do not study here, you will not study there. You will not wake up one day and just, I'm ready to sit in my room for 10 hours and read books. You haven't read for 10 hours as a whole in your whole life. And you're going to go to a country and just immediately start reading for 10 hours a day? You haven't memorized anything. You're immediately going to start memorizing a page of Quran a day. You haven't memorized a page of Quran in 2 years. And you're going to go to a country that you're lonely. You're going to be sick. There's not going to be electricity. There's not going to be water. You're going to be fed up with the people and the new system. And you're going to be able to, and you're going to start memorizing 2 pages of the Quran a day. This isn't how life works, ayyuha ikhwa. Wallahi, we want khair for you. Wallahi, we want khair for ourselves. And this is why we're saying this, because it was a reminder to myself first. And anyone that's been overseas, they can vouch to this. How many brothers we know when we were over there? Brothers came. You could tell the second they got off the airplane, this person's never studied ilm. They never studied ilm. I remember going to Umrah. And we're going to the mashayikh. Brother said, but I want to go to the mall. You want to go to the mall. This is the first time you've ever been overseas. There's ulama here. You want to go to the mall? You could have stayed in America if you wanted to go to the mall. I'm not saying that we never had fun. Of course, you want to have some sort of fun. And you want to have, but that's a very small portion of it. Your day needs to be involved in seeking knowledge. Your day needs to be, 90% of your day, of your waking hours, and really 100% of the day, but we're human, needs to be upon seeking knowledge. It can't be the opposite. It can't be 10% of my day I'm seeking knowledge and the rest, لا ينفعك شيء. You will not benefit. You will not benefit. Okay? One of the Salaf, he said, a person will never gain knowledge until he destroys his business and until he destroys his garden. Basically all his responsibilities he does away with. And even when the closest family member of his dies, لا يشاهد جنازته. He does not even go to the janazah because he's so busy with ilm. Subhanallah, أين نحن من هذا? Where are we from this? Rather, we are everywhere except knowledge. This is not how you gain knowledge. You will not benefit. العلم لا يعطيك بعته حتى تعطي كلك. As we said previously, knowledge only gives you some of it with the condition that you give all of yourself to it. And wallahi, it is not considered knowledge that you memorized. And knowledge, as Shaykh Hakim al-Hakimi he says, knowledge is fearing Allah in privacy and in public. Knowledge is acting upon what you know. So we say all that to say, we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the raghbah, first and foremost to seek knowledge sincerely. And that the raghbah actually turns into a reality, haqiqatan. Because how many people have the desire to do something, but they never do it? How many people intend khair, but they never reach it? فنسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يحفظنا أجمعين وأنه تبارك وتعالى يبارك فينا بالعلم النافع ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما